Most people today are tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You see it in grocery lines, in office break rooms, even in church pews. People are moving, pushing, producing, trying to stay ahead of bills, responsibilities, expectations. Life feels like a constant race. And even on days off, the mind keeps running. Some call it stress, others call it burnout. But really, it's a quiet kind of emptiness, like something important has gone missing, though we can't quite name it. There's a longing for peace that isn't just a vacation or a nap. It's something deeper, a rest that reaches inside. Maybe you felt it too, that feeling that there should be a place in life where we can breathe, really breathe, and remember who we are, why we are here, and that life is more than deadlines and survival. People try different things: meditation apps, nature walks, long weekends. These help for a moment, but the peace slips away as soon as Monday returns. It's as if our souls were designed for a rhythm we somehow lost. Not a break from life, but a rest within life. A rest that was always meant to be part of our story. A rest that has a name. Before there were alarms, time clocks, or endless to-do lists, there was a garden, a quiet place, full of color and breath and sunlight. And in that place, before humanity ever tasted stress or sorrow, God gave a gift. Not a rule, not a restriction, a gift. A day to stop, a day to breathe, a day to remember who we belong to, a day of rest. The Sabbath was not introduced in a world of sin or guilt. It was given when everything was still perfect. Think about that. Humanity didn't earn this rest. We were created with it in mind. Rest was woven into the first week of existence, like the heartbeat of life itself. God wasn't tired when he rested. He wasn't drained. He was showing us a rhythm. Work has a place, but so does rest. And the two were meant to live together, like inhale and exhale. But somewhere along the way, life grew heavy. Work took over. The days blurred. The gift became forgotten, buried under schedules, pressures, and the belief that our worth is measured by productivity. And yet, the gift is still there, waiting, calling us back. Life didn't fall apart in one day. It happened slowly. Little by little, the world learned to run faster. Hours stretched into longer shifts. Sundays became for errands. Nights became for finishing what the day couldn't hold. And the Sabbath, the quiet gift wrapped in peace, began to feel like something we didn't have time for anymore. People said, "I'll rest when I'm done." But the work was never done. Others said rest is for the weak, but exhaustion began to feel normal. Yet deep inside, the soul remembered. It remembered what peace felt like. It remembered morning walks without rushing. It remembered laughter without checking the clock. It remembered stillness. Sometimes the memory shows up in unexpected ways, in the tired eyes of a parent trying to hold everything together, in the sigh of someone sitting alone in their car before walking inside, in the quiet ache that whispers, "There must be more to life than this." And there is. The Sabbath is not a demand. It is an invitation to step out of the noise, an invitation to be held by the one who made us, an invitation to remember we are not machines. We are loved. Imagine this, a week where God spoke galaxies into existence, light, oceans, mountains, creatures of every kind, power beyond anything our minds can hold. And then he stopped. Not because he was tired, but because He wanted to be with us. The Sabbath wasn't just a pause. It was a moment of presence. Like a father finishing his work early just to sit on the porch with his child. Like a mother turning off her phone just to really see her family's faces. Like a friend who doesn't ask anything of you except your company. The Sabbath is God saying, "You matter more than your work." He made a whole day to remind us that we are not defined by our performance, our achievements, our mistakes, our income, our schedule, only by His love. But we forgot. We traded slow dinners at sunset for rushed meals in the car. We traded joyful conversation for constant notifications. We traded rest for the grind. And still, God waits, not with anger, but with open arms. The Sabbath is Him saying, "Come sit with me. I still want you." The change didn't happen all at once. No thunder, no rebellion, just busyness. People started saying, "I'll rest later. I just need to finish this one thing." God knows my heart. And little by little, the day that was meant to heal us was replaced by errands, deadlines, appointments, and exhaustion. Parents stopped gathering their children to sing. Couples stopped walking together at sunset. Families stopped telling stories around the table. Silence was replaced with screens. Peace replaced with pressure. We didn't break the Sabbath in anger. We misplaced it, and something inside us broke with it. We became tired in a way sleep could not fix, hungry in a way food could not fill, lonely in a way people could not touch. Because the Sabbath was not just time, it was a relationship. It was the weekly reminder of who we belong to. And when that reminder faded, we didn't become more free. We became owned by our worries, our jobs, our bills, our schedules. We became slaves again. But God, gentle and patient, never stopped calling. Remember, return, come rest with me. When God finished shaping the world, with mountains standing firm, rivers flowing gently, birds singing above gardens of color, He paused, not because He needed rest, but because we would. He blessed the seventh day. He set it aside as something different, something beautiful, a sanctuary in time. It was meant to remind us that we are not machines. We are not slaves to schedules. We are not valued only by what we do. We are valued because we belong to Him. This day was like a ribbon tied around creation, a weekly reminder that love was the foundation of life. But as generations passed, people forgot the meaning of that gift. Some ignored it, some distorted it, some made it heavy instead of joyful. Yet the blessing never left. It waited, like a quiet door, ready to open again whenever hearts became tired enough to return. As time moved forward, people began to live for themselves. Cities rose, markets grew, work became endless, running, striving, producing, always reaching for more. The day that was meant to breathe peace into the soul was slowly forgotten. Some still remembered the seventh day, but not its heart. They kept it out of duty, not love. It became about rules, perfect behavior, and performance. The joy faded. The quiet blessing was covered by human demands. And some went the other way. They worked through it, ignored it, treated time like it belonged only to them.
They didn't notice how tired their spirits had become, how their homes felt distant, how families drifted apart, how the deep part of themselves felt empty. They had bread, but no rest. They had houses, but no peace. They had schedules, but no stillness. The gift was still there all along. It never disappeared, but the world grew too loud to hear it. Until one day, someone stepped into history and gently began to restore what had been lost, not through force, not through rules, but through love. A love that called tired hearts back home.
When Jesus walked among the people, he did not come to erase the Sabbath. He came to give back its joy. The scriptures say, "And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it." Genesis 2:3. The blessing was still there, but hidden beneath layers of tradition and misunderstanding. One Sabbath, Jesus and his disciples walked through a field. The disciples plucked a few heads of grain to eat. Immediately, voices rose in accusation, harsh, cold, quick to condemn. But Jesus spoke gently. The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Mark 2:27. Not a burden, not a test, a gift. The people listened, some with open hearts, some with anger building in their eyes. Then again, on another Sabbath, he healed a man, one whose hand had been withered for years. The room watched in silence, a life restored, hope returned, a soul at rest. And Jesus simply said, "It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Matthew 12:12. In those moments, he wasn't changing the Sabbath. He was opening it back into love. The Sabbath was not only a pause in the week, it was a reminder of who we belong to. When God finished the work of creation, the Bible says, "He rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made." Genesis 2:2. It was not because he was tired. God does not grow weary. He rested to show us where our hearts could find peace. Each seventh day was a quiet message. You are not here by accident. You are loved. You were made on purpose. But the world began to teach a different lesson. That worth came from how much we produce, how much we own, how fast we move. Yet the Sabbath whispered a softer truth. You were meant to rest in God. The reference text says it beautifully. The Sabbath is a sign of God's power to make us holy. Not our effort, not our perfection, but his love shaping our hearts. Every week, the day returns, a reminder of beginnings, a gentle call back to the one who made us. As the world grew louder, faster, and more demanding, the Sabbath stood like a quiet sanctuary in time. No matter how busy the week had been, no matter how heavy the burdens, how deep the disappointments, the Sabbath returned with the same gentle invitation. Come and rest. It did not require travel, or wealth, or perfect conditions. It only asked us to stop long enough to remember that we are not alone. The scriptures speak of it with tenderness. Call the Sabbath a delight. Then you shall delight yourself in the Lord. Isaiah 58:13-14. It was not to be approached with dread, nor as a day of restriction, but as a day of joy. The reference text says, To all who receive the Sabbath as a sign of Christ's power, it is a delight. The Desire of Ages, page 288. Not our effort, not our perfection, but His love shaping our hearts. Every week, the day returns, a reminder of beginnings, a gentle call back to the One who made us. As the world grew louder, faster, and more demanding, the Sabbath stood like a quiet sanctuary in time. No matter how busy the week had been, no matter how heavy the burdens, how deep the disappointments, the Sabbath returned with the same gentle invitation: come and rest. It did not require travel, or wealth, or perfect conditions. It only asked us to stop long enough to remember that we are not alone. The Scriptures speak of it with tenderness. There comes a point when we realize that life is not just about survival, or schedules, or trying to keep up. It's about being whole. It's about remembering where we come from and who we belong to. The Sabbath is not just a day on the calendar. It is a reminder that we are not alone in this world, that our lives were meant for more than constant motion. It is the quiet voice that says, "You are not a machine. You are my child." It is God placing His hand on our shoulder once every 7 days, not to demand anything, but to give something back. Rest, breathing space, clarity, time to feel again, time to remember that all of creation, including you, was made in love. And maybe, just maybe, the peace we keep searching for outside of ourselves is something God has been offering all along, not as a rule to restrict life, but as a rest to restore it. A gift from the very beginning. The Sabbath. Not just a day of rest, but a reminder of the One who made us and still holds us.